Welcome everybody. Welcome to Modern Slacker's fourth episode, I believe. The 5 modern pillars to success. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so that you guys know what we are talking about. Today, we're just going to talk about the basic principles of writing a business plan and why it needs to be simple and not extensive. Everything in college, they tell you to write out all the details. Screw all that. This is the modern pillars, not the traditional pillars. So every business plan I've written is 1 page, and the reason for that is it evolves. It evolves, all the time. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. And then we'll get into some Reddit questions that I think are pretty dang good. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share this. Everything looks good. So we teach people the 5 modern pillars of success. The number one is investing, right? You want to invest really early on. The second one is physical appearance, networking, entrepreneurship, finding your niche. This is what we'll be talking about today. And dating and relationships. And the reason we put networking and physical appearance ahead of all this, because we want you to be a champion before you try to start a company. Because if you don't look in the mirror and see a really strong masculine guy or woman that's just ready to attack the world, you're going to have a hard time starting your company. So let's go ahead and stop sharing that. And I'm going to go ahead and pull up some questions that we have from Reddit. It's really nice being able to have Reddit. Okay, share screen, Chrome tab. Okay, 42 questions to ask before starting a business. All right, is this a problem that needs solving? Guys, before you start your business, yes, you need to figure out, can you solve a problem? Now, this could be something so simple, right? Does your neighbors need window washing? I mean, I started a pressure washing business as a side gig just to see how well it'd do. And I was doing 250, 300, $400 a day just by knocking on my neighbor's door saying, hey, for 200 bucks, I'll wash your driveway. And they were like, heck yeah. So, and I think the pressure washer costs like 300 bucks. So there's so many problems you can solve. And I always try to focus on like market density. Like if you live in a very dense area, there's more opportunity. There's more opportunity for competition. But I like to keep it simple. Can I build a business by solving this problem? Yes. I mean, any problem is, you look around anywhere you are and it's a business opportunity. This desk, business, right? The walls behind me, paint, the clocks, everything's a business, right? People made money somehow selling all this stuff to me. This welcome home sign over here, everything. So is number 3, is there a large enough market to help my business reach its revenue goals? Guys, I'm going to tell you to F off on this question because I have done very successfully dominating in a very small niche. And that small niche could be like, for example, I'm launching a Labradoodle pet shampoo, right? So there is other doodle shampoos, but we're specifically making it Labradoodle for a reason, right? And the reason for that is we're going to dominate that niche so much that Petco will have to acquire it, Chewy will have to acquire it, or another pet shampoo company would have to acquire it. So it doesn't matter the size of your market. It's just, can it be a market you can be number one in? Okay. And keep that in mind when you're writing your business plan, and keep that business plan short and simple because it will evolve. And I always tell this, in business school, they taught us, make it as detailed as possible. But then when I came out to real world experience, it was the exact opposite. It was like nothing in my business plan played out. So I had to go back and rewrite my business plan. Now, do you want to be a professional business plan writer, or do you want to start your business? The best experience is getting out there, meeting with customers, selling your product, dealing with problems. That's the only experience that's going to help you start a business. So that business plan, throw it out the window. To get started, I always recommend a 1-pager, and in the link below, I'll make sure to give you one. I think Score has one, score.org, great resource for a 1-pager business plan. It's just going to show basically who's involved, what the market is, how much money you need to get started, and all the simple stuff. Who are my competitors? Yeah, this is a great question. I'm going to bring it back to the Labradoodle pet shampoo. So there's a very good Amazon pet shampoo for doodles, but they don't specialize in Labradoodles. So we already niched them out, and they don't use organic materials. We do. So we can sell those two things. And then we add another component, which is a social cause. if you're doing any sort of online play, guys, do a social cause, add a social cause. You buy 5, we donate 1. You know what I mean? To a shelter in need or to a dog shelter. Like, well, like that, people gravitate to that. You'll create a cult following. People will just love to be a part of it. And that's the golden egg right there, is like, can you also add a social element, a social cause element to your business? Because that's the future of entrepreneurship. It really is. You look at Tom's, right? They'll buy one, they give a pair of shoes 1 for 1. They created that model, and he retired with $500 million from shoes, really, really cheap feeling shoes, expensive shoes though. But Bomba socks, another big one, right? So add a social cause if you're doing any sort of online play, and this might be able to translate to a service-based industry as well. I know a lot of my followers are blue collar guys, that wash windows or pressure washing. But you could add a social cause, right? And that could be in your marketing materials. That could really help you close more customers. So can I differentiate on product and distribution? If you're doing online, have Amazon do your distribution, make it as simple as possible. To be different, guys, just add a social cause. It's that simple, right? Or find a weakness, right? Like let's say they're not organic, but you are. Let's say that their pressure washing chemicals are too harsh, yours are not, right? You can always market yourself a little bit better than the competition. Water break. And guys, if you're asking, yeah, I broke my neck, so I'm on. I haven't taken off the hospital tag. I was supposed to be wearing a cone of shame, but I decided not to today. So whatever. I felt pretty good in the gym, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna keep this on. Good souvenir though. I've been in like 2 accidents in the last month. Like crazy. Okay. How I market my solution to my target customers? Okay, this is interesting because I have 3 businesses I want to apply this to. So Preferable Pups, we did SEO and we didn't get customers for 6 months. So basically we did just content generation till we started ranking on the first page. And now that is just a money making machine. It's just a beast. So there's other ways you could do that, and that's by paying advertising. I've done that as well, right? You can do Google AdWords. You can also do Facebook ads, which if you're local, if you're creating a local business, do that. Obviously, people, let's say you're starting a pressure washing business, which I did as a side hustle. And actually, let's talk about that. I was making $300 to $600 a day doing pressure washing, and I think I spent like $400 or $500 on the pressure washer with all the chemicals and the equipment. And all I did was go to my neighbors, hey, can I wash your driveway for $200? And they were like, hell yeah. So, uh, guys, seriously, be in the mindset of like, you don't need to overcomplicate this, right? Your business plan needs to be simple. And if you overcomplicate it, you're going to overcomplicate, and it's going to translate to the customers, to the end user, to yourself, your team. Just keep it simple. Keep your head up, keep grinding, make it happen. How will I market my solution? Does working on this business idea play to my strengths or weaknesses? Guys, F your weaknesses. Seriously. Like, people say you should focus on improving your weaknesses. I say you can hire people to do your weaknesses. I'm terrible at math. Let's put that as an example. You throw like, what is 6 times 6, right? And I'm like 5. So I have an accountant, right? I hired someone to do basic math for me. And so I mean, it's that simple. It's just like, you can hire people for your weaknesses. Now, if you're just solo entrepreneur, LLC, right? Pressure washing, auto detailing, house cleaning, and you're not going to have a lot of employees, then maybe you should focus on your weaknesses. But if you're taking a job online, there's so many. I use Fiverr a lot now and Upwork, where it's like an escrow service, so I can hire specialists in certain areas that I suck in. For example, I'm creating an email journey, about 15 to 20 emails. And I'm a terrible writer, but most of my business is content. So I hire that person out, and I pay $200 to get the whole job done. And in escrow is your best friend. For Upwork, it's in escrow. So if they don't complete the job, you get your money back. Keep that in mind. What is success to me, and what do I have to do to get there? Hmm. That's a good question. Guys, success is different for everyone. We listed out the modern pillars of success. That gives you a basically all around, good experience and a happy ending of your chapter of your book. When you die, your book closes, and we want to set people up to have that happy ending. And so that's why there's the five modern pillars of success, and dating and relationships, physical appearance, all that stuff is in there. For me, success to me is pretty much, my network. One of my good friends, Anthony, he brought this. Someone else might have said it too, but your network is your net worth. You are the fifth of your fourth friends, right? You're the average or whatever. You know the story. It's so true. If you hang around four potheads, you're going to be the fifth pothead. If you hang around four billionaires, you're going to be the fifth billionaire. And I now have three very successful billionaires that I can call, text, communicate with, and to be able to network all the way up to that's what I defined as my success. So I'm at this point in my life where I'm 30 now, and I finally got stuff figured out, and I'm super excited for the future. I went from 115 pounds to 178 pounds, 180, depends on how many cookies I eat this Christmas. But building a successful business is like solving complex multivariable equation. No, it's not, guys. Keep it simple. I mean, you're gonna face problems. You're gonna face adversity. It's just how you handle it, right? So let's put an analogy in this. You go to the gym for 6 months, you see no results. What do? Do you stop going to the gym, or do you ask questions? Right? Do you go find people that maybe have the results you want and ask them, hey, how'd you get there? Maybe you're missing something. And I would totally recommend, guys, if you're starting a business and you know the business you want to start, go make 5 friends of people already in that business. And I mean, donate time to them, learn from them, be their friends. Seriously. You're going to learn so much through that experience. Another good question I get asked a lot is like, how do I find an idea? Guys, okay, have you ever had the experience where you're looking at a new BMW or a new car, right? Maybe it's a G-Wagon or Volkswagen. It doesn't matter what car. You have this car in mind, and then you start seeing that car everywhere. Like it's like, wait, that's that car I want. Wait, that's that car I want. You just start seeing, your brain is now focused because you're thinking about it. You got to convince your brain to start seeing problems that you can solve. For example, I bumped into my this desk today, and the hinge fell out. Maybe I could create a new hinge that holds the table together better, right? And when you're out in a coffee shop, what you should be doing is you should ask yourself questions. How much does the coffee cost? How much does it cost to brew? How much does the barista cost? How much does the rent in this building cost? Start asking yourself questions everywhere you go, and you'll start finding problems you can solve. You'll start finding business ideas. I'm telling you, the moment you can shift from, I don't know where I'm going, to I'm just actively asking myself these questions, and solving them. It's gonna hit you in the face. I promise. You'll find out what you want to do and how you're gonna do it. So, do people or business really face this problem? Uh, that's a good question. Like if you're saying I need a deviled egg making machine, do people really need that? Actually, I'd probably invest in that. I mean, you got to ask yourself these questions, right? So, I'm trying to think of a good example. Let's say you're trying to come up with a new purified water bottle, right? There's thousands of those out there. So, do people need that? No. Could you make it successful? Maybe. It's just going to be a lot harder. How often do people face the problem that you're trying to solve? That's a great question. Like I would go, like if you're blue collar, which means blue collar means auto detailing, house cleaning, pressure washing, window washing, uh, all sorts of stuff. White collar is, C-level employees, tech startups, all that stuff. So if you're doing blue collar, right, you can go to your neighbors and just ask them, hey, when was the last time you washed your windows? And you can even run Facebook ads in your demographic, and just say, hey, how often do you wash your windows? And people respond to those surveys. I do them all the time. And you might need to spend a little money, but don't be afraid to spend money if you're headed towards somewhere. I always tell people, like, I'd be willing to be homeless again, as long as I have a goal. As long as I know where I'm going, it doesn't matter. I really don't give a shit where I'm headed or where I'm at right now, as long as I know where I'm going. And I think that's the mindset you should be in as well. Can I build a viable business by solving this problem? I'm gonna skip most of this because you can, guys. Like, if you can solve a problem and you can do it well, you'll make money. I have a friend who, his name is Dennis, man. What a great guy. And his story, his daughter, he was a police chief for 40 years, and his daughter grabbed his service gun and shot herself in the head. And so he created a company called T Lock, and it's the most safe lock out there for policemen. And and so he has this incredible story behind his business. That's another thing you should bring up is like your business should have a story. You should have a persona. If you don't know what a persona is, basically a buyer persona is just your target audience, right? So I would Google that. I'll drop some links and resources down below. But he has such an incredible story that he takes it to trade shows and people just buy him immediately. They're gravitated toward this guy. So um, find out what your story is. But if you're a pressure washer, you don't really need a story. If you're doing some sort of online play e-commerce, you need a story. Trust me. You need a social cause. You need a differentiator. But if you're doing any blue collar work, you could throw in a story. I just don't think it sells higher than it does online. Is there a large enough market to help my business? We already covered some of these things. Um, Total number of people likely solve this problem. Like I said before, guys, if you're niching it out, it really doesn't matter, guys. Like, there's going to be someone that'll acquire you. Wesley is in the show. What is up? I have a furniture marketing cabinetry business. I'm 22. Congrats, you're 22 and already getting started. Bought tools and also have my own shop space. I wanna send the invite link for you if you want to hop on, Wesley. I'm gonna post this comment here. Wesley, if you're still listening, you should hop on. That's incredible. He's 22 years old, guys, and he's already getting started. That just blows my mind. I usually get the people that are 35 that it's like, oh wait, I didn't do anything my whole life. I just partied and got drunk and that's it. It's like, well, now I feel like if you're not in business by 40, you're effed. If you're in business by 40, you're okay. That's just my philosophy. But big shout out to Wesley. I think we follow each other on Instagram. Furniture marketing, furniture making and cabinetry business, bought the tools, and I also have my own shop space. I wonder what advice I could give you. I mean, have you solved the question of how to acquire clients yet? That's a big question you should ask yourself. Go down that whole list I just showed you and just make sure. I know that there's always, if you're in a population dense area, there's always room for more businesses and more competition. You can always find a way. What's a hole in the biggest guys? The biggest player in the space. What's a hole that you can solve? So to wrap this up, guys, unless Wesley hops in, I'm going to leave it at that. And just if you have any questions, reach out to us at Modern Slackers. I'm going to go ahead and drop out our Instagram link. One day I'll have someone that does this for us. Okay. And basically, just reach. We have 5 channel hosts. I mean, we have such a high reach of people that can give advice. So feel free to hop on Instagram, ask us any questions. We'll bring you on for a live show. But other than that, my slackers, go out there and make it happen. Today's the day. Tomorrow is not the day. Okay, you gotta make shit happen. Today is the day to make it happen. So I hope you have a successful week and a great Christmas, guys. This is the last episode we'll have before Christmas. So I'm super excited for what we have in the works to show you guys, and we'll have some special guests following New Year. So thank you so much for joining, and go ahead and subscribe and like and follow and leave some questions for us. Anyways, peace out. Good luck, Slacker.